What are the odds, right? You walk into a delivery room, sweaty, scared, trying not to cry, and the man standing over you with a stethoscope and gloves is your ex. Not just any ex, either. The one. The only man you ever really let in. And the one you left behind chasing something you thought mattered more. That was me. I'm Riley Carson. 33, music school dropout, single mom-to-be. And flat broke when I checked into St. Jude's Hospital during a thunderstorm that rattled the windows like my nerves. The contractions hit hard. My sister was grounded in Atlanta. No friends nearby. My ex-fiancé. He left when I told him I was pregnant. A sticky note on the fridge said, "Sorry, I'm not ready." That was 6 months ago. I haven't heard from him since, so I was alone, or I thought I was, until the door opened and in walked Dr. Elias Ford. My jaw locked. His name had been burned into the softest part of me years ago, back when we were med school sweethearts planning to save the world. He wanted to build maternal clinics. I wanted to play piano at Lincoln Center. And then one day I just left. Packed my life into a U-Haul and moved to New York with an offer to join a chamber orchestra. I broke his heart and mine in the same breath. I told myself it was necessary, that we'd both move on. But seeing him again in those navy scrubs, hair damp from rain, blue eyes widening in recognition, it was like time slammed into reverse. "Riley," he said, voice low but sharp. "I didn't know you were back in Houston. I moved 6 months ago." I gasped between contractions. He blinked, swallowed, then slipped into doctor mode like it was second skin. "Let's get you through this safely." And just like that, he was all business. Hands steady, voice calm. Except I could still feel the undercurrent, like a current below still water. As the pain got worse, I caught flashes of the man he'd become, gold watch firm decisions, nurses deferring to him like he ran the place. And maybe he did. I remembered seeing him in a Forbes article last year, the billionaire doctor changing global maternity. Turns out he built a software company during residency, sold it for hundreds of millions, and used that money to start maternal health programs across Africa and Southeast Asia. He became exactly the man he said he would be, just without me beside him. And me, I'd lost the orchestra gig in New York, gave piano lessons in a moldy apartment, and ended up in a hospital bed alone, trying to bring a baby girl into the world with nothing but grit and a busted insurance plan. But Elias didn't judge, at least not out loud. When the baby's heart rate dropped, his calm cracked just a little. "Cord might be compressed," he muttered, reaching for a vacuum extractor. "Riley, I need one more big push." I was terrified. My body felt broken. But he looked at me, really looked, and said something I didn't expect. "Trust me, I've got you. Both of you." And I did. Somehow I still did. With one final earth-shattering push, she came into the world screaming tiny red perfect. He held her up, eyes misted. "It's a girl," he said. "A strong one." I named her Maisie Grace. A name I never told anyone, except Elias once over takeout and cheap wine 4 years ago. He flinched when he heard it, said it suits her. 2 days later, with the storm still grounding flights and my apartment being fumigated for black mold, I was staring down the barrel of a motel stay with an infant. No family, no safety net. Just a few $100 and a bruised spirit. Then Elias knocked on my hospital room door in jeans and a sweater, holding takeout from our old spot, Rosalita's. "I have a guest house," he said simply. "Clean, safe, empty. You and Maisie can stay there. No strings." I wanted to say no. Pride told me to. But exhaustion motherhood won. I said yes. And what he offered wasn't a spare room. It was a sanctuary. Fully furnished. Stocked fridge. A white bassinet with tags still on the baby clothes. A grand piano in the living room. He remembered everything. That first night after he'd left for a meeting in Tokyo, I stared at the keys on that piano and thought, maybe I wasn't as broken as I believed. When he came home early the next day, I was playing quiet, hesitant, but real. He stood in the doorway, no words, just eyes soft and arms crossed. Then he said, "You still play like the world's listening." We started talking again, really talking. Not just about the baby, about life, what went wrong, who we became. Turns out he wasn't as happy as he looked in Forbes. All the awards, the private jets, he said one night, swirling red wine in his glass, it means nothing if you forget why you started. And I got it, because I'd forgotten too. I didn't expect the kiss. We were standing at the garden, Maisie asleep in the guest house, when he looked at me and said, "Maybe we've both been overthinking this for 4 years." Then he leaned in careful, like giving me a way out. I didn't take it. It was gentle, familiar, then deeper. He held me like he'd never really let go. Of course I panicked. I pulled away, said something lame like, "This is complicated." And it was. Then Penny, my sister, arrived, took one look at the estate and asked if I'd lost my mind. "You're living in your billionaire ex's guest house, the same man who delivered your baby. This isn't real life. This is network TV." She had a point, but not the whole picture, because Elias wasn't playing games. He didn't want me to owe him. He wanted me, the real me. Music flaws, baggage and all. Still, I had to know, was this real or just a rescue mission? So I asked, and he said, "Riley, I've spent 4 years building things, money, influence, but I lost touch with the one thing that ever made me feel human. You brought that back. Not because you need me, but because I never stopped needing you." The next morning I got a call from Berkeley Conservatory. They had a last-minute opening for a piano instructor. Elias had recommended me. Quietly, respectfully. He didn't pull strings, just opened a door. I took the interview. I got the job. 3 months later, I stood backstage at my first faculty recital, heart pounding. Through the curtain, I saw Elias in the front row holding Maisie in his arms. Penny beside him, finally convinced this wasn't a fantasy. I stepped out into the spotlight, fingers hovering over the keys. And for the first time in years, I wasn't choosing between love and music, safety and ambition. I was choosing me. Us. A future where the man who caught my daughter's first breath might just be the one to catch my second chance. Now tell me this, do people really change? Or do we just circle back to where we belong? Drop a comment below. Have you ever walked away from the right person, only to meet them again when life flipped the script? Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that hit straight in the chest. What are the odds, right? You walk into a delivery room, sweaty, scared, trying not to cry, and the man standing over you with a stethoscope and gloves is your ex. Not just any ex, either. The one. The only man you ever really let in. And the one you left behind chasing something you thought mattered more. That was me. I'm Riley Carson. 33, music school dropout, single mom-to-be. And flat broke when I checked into St. Jude's Hospital during a thunderstorm that rattled the windows like my nerves. The contractions hit hard. My sister was grounded in Atlanta. No friends nearby. My ex